Napoleon, a man who conquered most of Europe, who had nearly everything power could buy, spent his life quietly envying someone, Julius Caesar, and Caesar envied Alexander the Great. And Alexander, who had run out of worlds to conquer, envied a hero from the old myths who never even existed. Sit with that for a second. The people at the very top of the mountain were looking up too. So this thing we all do, measuring ourselves against other people, it is not a problem you solve by winning. The winners never stopped playing. They just found someone new to lose to. I want to show you why your mind keeps doing this. A small story I haven't been able to forget, and one simple question that can pull you out of it. Stay with me. You know the feeling. You open Instagram, and someone you know just landed the job, or got engaged, or posted photos from a trip you can't afford right now. Or it's LinkedIn, someone your age, 2 titles ahead. Or it's a reunion, a cousin, an old college friend, and within about 10 seconds, quietly, automatically, you've placed yourself a little ahead of them, or a little behind. And here's the strange part. It never really makes you feel better, not for long. Beat someone, and the good feeling fades by morning. Run into someone clearly ahead of you, and your whole day tilts. Because look at what you're actually doing. You're comparing your insides to their outsides. You know every doubt you have, every 2 a.m. worry, every messy, unfinished thing in your own life. And of them, you only see the photo, the highlight. You're holding your behind the scenes up against their movie poster, and then wondering why you come up short. And it isn't only other people. You do it to yourself too. The younger you, with more hair, more time, more doors still open. But that person lived in a different world, a different body, a different set of circumstances. There's no honest way to lay the two side by side, and yet the mind tries and calls the result falling behind. There's an old story I keep coming back to. A dog wanders into a room, and the walls, the ceiling, the floor, all of it is mirrors. Everywhere he looks, he sees other dogs, dozens of them, hundreds. He's surrounded. So he does what a frightened dog does. He bares his teeth, and every dog bares its teeth back. He growls. They all growl. He lunges. They lunge. And so, he fights. He throws himself at the glass, snapping, snarling, battling the whole pack of them, until, frantic and worn out, he collapses. Later, a calm man walks into that very same room, the same mirrors, the same hundreds of reflections. He looks around, and he simply sees himself many times over, and he is completely at ease. Same room, same mirrors. One of them nearly destroyed himself, fighting reflections. The other was at home. Because every rival the dog saw was himself, and that is closer to the truth than it sounds. The rivals we spend our lives measuring against, we mostly build them in our own heads. We're trained to early. In school, you weren't only learning, you were being ranked first, 10th, last, graded against the child sitting next to you. By the time we're grown, comparing runs on its own. It doesn't even feel like a choice. It feels like just seeing things as they are. Krishnamurti spent his whole life pointing at this. He called comparison a kind of violence, a quiet, constant war that drains your energy and never ends. And when people tried to rank Ramana Maharshi against other famous teachers, who is greater, he brushed it aside with one phrase. He called it the mischief of the ego, lining people up best to worst. The mischief of the ego. And remember Napoleon. This is the trap no one warns you about. You cannot win this game by climbing. Get the better job, there's a better one. Get the nicer house, you'll start noticing a nicer one. The bar never holds still. It rises with you, always just out of reach. Bertrand Russell said it plainly. You can never escape envy through success, because every success only shows you the next person to envy. Napoleon envied Caesar. There is no top of this ladder. There is only the next rung. Forever. Now, psychologists have a name for all this. They call it social comparison, and the research is clear. We do it automatically, especially when we feel unsure of ourselves. And we do it most against the people just above us, which is exactly what a feed is. An endless scroll of everyone's best moments, lined up for you to measure against your ordinary Tuesday. But here's the part that should set you free. Underneath all comparison is a hidden assumption that there's some standard, some normal, to measure against. Carl Jung pointed out that this normal doesn't actually exist. Take a riverbed full of pebbles, he said, and work out their average weight. Then go and look for one pebble that weighs exactly that. You can search all day, you won't find it. The average is just a number. It has no body. It lives nowhere. You have been measuring yourself against something that was never real. And here, once again, people who never met across centuries and continents all arrive in the same place. Swami Vivekananda put it simplest. You cannot judge an apple tree by the standard of an oak, he said, or the oak by the apple. To judge the apple tree, you have to use the apple's own measure. Each grows by its own nature. There is no single measuring stick laid across all living things. We invented that stick, and then we beat ourselves with it. Krishnamurti, Lao Tzu, the Stoics, the non-dual teachers strip away the robes and the centuries, and they're all saying one thing. Comparison measures a phantom against a phantom on a scale reality never agreed to. Even Marcus Aurelius caught himself at it and turned it around in his notebook. He's a stronger wrestler than me. Fine. But is he kinder? Is he more patient? Does he carry misfortune better than I do? Pulling the measure back to the only thing that was ever truly his, to grow. So here's the one move. Not stop comparing. You can't. It runs on its own. Instead, the next time you feel that tightening the scroll, the reunion, the quiet ranking, ask yourself one question. What am I actually looking at? A whole person, in all their hidden fullness, or a single photo, a job title, a highlight? Come back from the ranking to the real. There's a small image for this. A baby crawls across the floor, sees the shadow of his own head, and reaches out to grab it. He crawls forward. The shadow slides away. He cries. He can never catch it. Until his mother gently takes his hand and rests it on his own head. That's the whole thing. You don't catch what's out there by chasing it. You come back to yourself. You'll feel it again, maybe the next time you open your phone. The comparing doesn't vanish. It's an old habit, trained in early, but now you can catch it in the act, building rivals out of reflections, measuring your one life against a number that doesn't exist. Lao Tzu said something so simple it's easy to walk right past. When you are content to be simply yourself, when you stop comparing, stop competing, then, strangely, the whole world belongs to you. You are always going to be standing in that room of mirrors. That part you don't get to choose. The only choice is the one the dog and the calm man both had. Tear yourself apart fighting the reflections. Or look around. See that they were always you, and finally rest.